Hey guys, welcome to a very special edition of That Game Show. It is our Ultra Mega Collaboration 9001 Spectacular. I am your host, Chase Bunker. Joining me today is our first guest, who is making his second appearance on the show. He is from the YouTube series Chris and Andy Play. You can find him on Twitter at Chris Andy Play. It's Chris Baberick.
Hey buddies!
He is from the Player 3 Podcast, hailing from Virginia. You can find him on Twitter at Player 3 Podcast. Look at their website, player3.com, or player3podcast.com. They also talk about sports, and that makes me happy. It's Luke Croft.
What's up?
The guest right above me, if you're watching the video, he's a second-time guest, host of Gamer Nation Radio. His podcast has been seen on websites all over the gaming world. You can follow him on Twitter at GNR_Johnnyboy. You can find his Facebook also, facebook.com/Gamer Nation Radio fan page. Also, everybody's got Facebook. Who doesn't? It's Johnny Marshall.
What's going on, guys?
And my next guest is a regular on That Game Show. He also has another podcast that I sometimes like to promote for him, the Dork Night Podcast. He has one name to rule them all. It's Murphy.
How's it going, guys?
And our final guest, whose face you will never see because he's got a mask, so you have his logo, that or a duck smoking a cigar. I've made that joke way too many times in pre-production. He is the host of the Geekly Podcast. Find him at geeklypodcast.com. You can also find him on Twitter at Melwheezy. It's Melvin Hampton.
Hey, what's up? What's happening, Captain?
All right. Thank you guys very much for being on the show, and thank you guys very much for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, Screw Attack, or if you're listening to us on iTunes, TuneIn, and Stitcher, or if you like a phonogram, thank you for making us a part of your day. Now, real quick, let's just get like a nice introduction from everybody, starting off with Chris. For the people who have not seen you before, what do you do on your channel?
Mostly we dick around.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, so we run a YouTube channel called Chris and Andy Play, where we play games and we talk about stuff, and sometimes the stuff happens to be the game that we are currently playing, but not always. So check that out, I guess, if you like talking and smooth voices.
Smooth voices while playing Sonic. They're about to conclude Sega Month, which was very entertaining. Definitely check them out. Luke.
Lots of retro.
Yes. Luke, tell us about your podcast, Player 3.
Well, we are the Player 3 podcast with 4 guys on the show. It is about 58% talk about video game news, 24% about talking about made-up gaming news as if it's real gaming news, and then the rest of the percentage is us trying to figure out what the heck Ben's talking about. But we get together every Monday and talk about video games and sports and whatever.
All right. Johnny, tell us about Gamer Nation Radio.
What's going on, guys? Gamer Nation Radio, it's basically your podcast with your average gamers talking video games and the latest news. We pretty much covered next-gen consoles and PC and Destiny, because we have a Destiny addict, my co-host, Dame. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Murph, without holding your Destiny rage, tell us about Dork Night.
So Dork Nights, we talk about games sometimes. We actually have a kind of a running segment where my other co-host Tiernan gets mad about a game that I've been playing recently. It's like Hatoful, the pigeon dating sim.
Hatoful Boyfriend?
Thank you. Mumble mouth.
Yeah.
And we also check out my kind of collection of games. I have an itch.io page if you kind of want something a little weirder.
All right. Melvin, tell us about Geekly Podcast.
Well, you guys are using my government name, which is cool.
Yes.
But I go by Melwheezy on the Geekly Podcast. I got 2 other co-hosts, DJ, Tech Dre. We're kind of a geek variety show. We do talk about gaming, but not just gaming. We talk about TV, whether it be Daredevil, Arrow, Gotham, whatever, movies, technology. So we just kind of cover the gambit of anything that kind of we're geeked about at the moment, depending on what it is in the news. The gaming is such a small part of it, but we love all facets of geek culture, so we try to cover everything. So that's what we're about.
Alrighty. that is the panel for this week. And thank you, guys, again for being on this show for this Ultra Mega Collaboration 9001. It is going to be glorious. It's over 9,000! That's the running joke. All right. Big news coming out this week. And I know if you've watched Player 3 Podcast, Luke has already talked about this. Silent Hills has been officially been canceled. Guillermo del Toro has come out and said that it is not going to happen at a San Francisco International, I believe it's like the International Film Festival. And Hideo Kojima originally had his name taken off of it. Norman Reedus has now come out and said, yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. So guys, how bummed are you right now that Silent Hills is not going to happen? We'll start off with Chris.
Medium.
All right.
I mean, like it's not a great thing that we're losing out on like AAA titles, especially after we've seen so much. And there's like been a teaser demo. That's what PT is, like a playable teaser. We're missing out on that. We're missing out all these things. And I think there are a lot of people that are really upset because we really like the direction things were going in, and now it's just not non-existent anymore. But I think there might have just been too many cooks in the kitchen. And if you look at like Konami's financial situation over the last little while, maybe they're cutting it cost-wise, right? But you also got some really, really heavy hitters in there, and sometimes it's just too many creative minds together don't necessarily see eye to eye.
Yeah. Luke?
I was massively disappointed with it. PT got announced at a Gamescom, and at Gamescom I immediately went and downloaded it and came home, and it was one of those things, like, it was middle of the day, one of my best friends was over here, all the lights were on, and it was still the scariest thing I've ever played in my entire life. The thing that disappoints me the most about this is, number one, they're taking PT off the store, and I think right now that's one of the, like, it's a PlayStation exclusive thing that really is something to talk about as being one of the best things available on PlayStation right now, even though it's this short, concise experience. And then secondly, I think this strategy would have worked so well for all kinds of other games to release kind of this playable teaser that was the announcement for the game. But now companies are going to be scared to pour time, energy, and resources into that because it's like, look how bad Konami fell on their face here with this, announcing this far out, and then it all kind of falling apart.
Yeah. I think what was made a lot of people excited was the fact that Hideo Kojima had his hand in it. So we got the guy who's made great Metal Gear Solid games throughout the years, and to revive this franchise. Oh, also Norman Reedus. Everybody loves Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead or Boondock Saints. Everybody loves him. So the fact that goes away now, it kind of shows that like Konami's like, I think they're on this sinking ship, and I'll be surprised if they last any more than maybe 2-3 years because they kind of just put out crap. Johnny.
Yeah, it pretty much sucks. I mean, that was a game that I think everyone was looking forward to, since the PT demo, and they say they're still gonna develop Silent Hills. So without Kojima and Del Toro, like we were gonna get, I mean, do we really want these games that, like you said, they're putting out crap at the point? So
yeah,
it's not looking good. From what I've heard, I didn't get to play it, but from what I heard, it was really scary, like you said. And you might be right, Chris, about their budget. Too many paid people in there. Probably just didn't have the funds to continue or whatever it be.
Yeah. Murph?
Silent Hill is one of those series that I'm going to play eventually. Kojima's name attached to it was probably going to make me do it, and now that it's not going to be there, it might just fall off into the wayside once again.
Yeah. Mel?
Last time I checked, Batman Arkham Knight is still coming out, so I'm not really a Silent Hill fan, so I'm probably like the wrong person to ask this, but I guess, I mean, what I saw of it, the screenshots with Norman Reedus looked really, really cool. But honestly, I didn't have a lot of anticipation for it. I guess I'm cool with it going away because I'm not really a Silent Hill fan. But I will say this: it's kind of curious that all of a sudden Konami has kind of separated themselves from Hideo Kojima or whatever, and the whole Metal Gear Solid thing was so weird. And then it gets announced this week that they're delisting themselves from the stock exchange for trading
Yeah.
stock. So what's really going on with Konami? Like, what's up with them, man? Because I grew up playing all these games by Konami, like Contra and all these, blockbuster games. They're really far removed from the glory days, and I have to wonder if somebody's not, if somebody hasn't drained that company dry. That's just my opinion. But
Yeah. And I think it's very unfortunate. Like, no one likes seeing a gaming company go down, but I think it's the fact that right now we had such big hopes with Konami with Phantom Pain and then, Silent Hill is at least being announced with Guillermo del Toro. And Guillermo with Hideo, it's like, okay, these two great, like, I would say cinematic, even though Hideo Kojima hasn't made an actual movie, it, like, Metal Gear Solid at least feels like it. So it sucks to see like these twisted, like these good minds, like with a project that just goes kaput, and it kind of makes you wonder what could have been. Granted, we kind of say that with the Superman movie with Nicolas Cage, but
I don't know if I go that far.
If I can offer just some conjecture and some speculation as to what happened in this whole deal. I'm not sure if it was as much about money as it was just about a difference of direction. Like, Konami understands that Metal Gear Solid is like the selling point for their company. Like that's a big hitter. And they know that a reason for that is Kojima. But Kojima even tried to say with Metal Gear Solid 4, like, hey, this is going to be my last Metal Gear game. It sells. They're announcing Metal Gear 5. And I think he finally just put his foot down and was like, I'm not making Metal Gear games anymore. And Konami was like, we pay you to make Metal Gear games. And so if you're not going to make Metal Gear games, and everybody wanted to see him unleashed on something else, which was why everybody got excited about Silent Hills. But it was like, hey, as soon as Silent Hills is done, we want you back on Metal Gear. And I think Kojima was kind of done with that story. He was really pushing for a remake of like an open world Metal Gear 1. But outside of that, I think he was kind of done with the series, and so they just decided to part ways with it. And I think him and Del Toro entered into that game as friends, if I remember correctly from some stuff I was reading. And then so when Kojima was out, it was like, all right, well, I came with him, so I'm going to leave with him as well.
Yeah, it's a very good point, because it blanked on me before, but now it's coming back that Kojima was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. And I thought he said that even after 3.
He may have.
And it's like, well,
Yeah,
hey,
he
I'm going to do it
definitely-
anymore.
He's been saying it for a long time.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any more. Well, how about 4? Okay, I can do it for 4. How about 5? Okay, it's like that guy leaving at the party. It's like, come on, have this beer. It's like, okay, maybe 1 beer. Come on, tap this keg. Okay, maybe 1 keg.
To be fair, the Metal Gear storylines do sound like something you would come up with drunk. Like,
This is also very true.
Well, and then at the end, he gets in a Silent Hills car and then wraps that around a tree. So, and it just gets totally eliminated.
Yeah.
I'd like to weigh in a little bit about like them pulling PT off the store shelves, basically.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably a good thing for us. Everybody's like upset about it because it's gone. But if you got something that's kind of a flagship for your company right now and people are disappointed that you're not making the game anymore, you don't pull off something that's making you money. And the reason I'm thinking that this is probably a good thing for us is that, if Kojima has been saying for a long time, like back in 2009, he said, like maybe I should be working for the North American side of things. Maybe Japanese gaming isn't where I'm supposed to be anymore. So, if he's trying to pull away from, and they pull this from the shelf, I have to wonder that, like, because it's called PT and it has no Silent Hill really official, it's unofficially Silent Hills. Maybe they're going, like, all of them are taking it someplace else, and they're going to start with that and move forward. And that's why there's some legal stuff, why they have to pull it down, because it doesn't make sense financially to take down a game that is making money for no reason,
Well,
especially in digital distribution.
right.
Well, and that game is free, isn't it? Like, you don't pay.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Right.
I don't have a PS4, but
Yeah,
like,
it's free.
it's free, but I don't know. It still doesn't seem like it would be like, how do you appease your fans who are pissed off about your game release? Oh, I know. We'll take out any hope of it ever. We'll take away the one thing they want, the one thing they hold dear. I will steal it. That doesn't seem
This
like
is
a
so-
good idea.
Well,
We shall take it.
To me,
marketing.
All right.
oh, go ahead.
Luke. We'll start. We'll go Luke, and then we'll go Johnny.
Well, what I was going to say is I think the fact that they are pulling PT means that they're completely done with any project that is Silent Hills. And in their statement, they said, we are dedicated to bringing Silent Hill titles to it, but they made no mention of bringing Silent Hills out. And I think this was them just saying, like, look, because you have to understand, like with PT, there are hours of development time behind that thing and a ton of work that was put into it, and they paid people to make that. And so for them to say, like, we're going to completely scrap that, take it off the store, and really get our fan base concerned about it, there has to be a real reason of, like, we're giving up all hope of this thing ever coming.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, there probably could be a, quote, spiritual successor to it, like they wanted to do with Body Count with Black, or with gosh, what was the game? It was the Eternal Darkness 2. They essentially like switched over. Apparently, I'm drunk. Switched over companies and tried to get that thing kickstarted.
Maybe Kojima's trying to pull a Mighty Number 9 here, and
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Johnny, you had a point.
Oh no, Lucas basically got it. I mean, basically, the PT was like their marketing for Silent Hills to get everyone excited, shareholders and all that. Them taking their shares off the market and PT off the Sony store. I mean, they're basically just they're done.
Yeah.
There's some major restructuring going on over there.
How funny, guys, would it be? This is Mel, by the way. I just wanted to jump in and say this real quick before I forget. So I'm sorry if I steal anybody else's thunder right now. But how funny would it be if Kojima did his own thing, like the guy who did Mega Man? He has his own little indie studio and does like a spiritual successor to Silent Hill. It's not called Silent Hill, of course. You can't call it that.
Yeah.
But
it's
he
Quiet
does
Mountain,
like Unsilent Hill or whatever. And and he basically does the game he wants to do, and Konami can't. He doesn't have this big parent company telling him what to do. You know what? That could be pretty exciting because he might do some really cool things that he couldn't do with the big studio backing him.
That is
and if he got Guillermo del Toro to go with him, that would just spike up the hype. I mean, if they actually got together and did an indie game together, like after all this, it would be all over the place.
A darker version of Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes, I love that movie.
Can it go darker?
See,
Go
they
darker.
They would have to be able to bring in a team of guys that can develop that game too, though, because Kojima Del Toro has no real like video game development experience, and Kojima is more on the story side of the things and not necessarily on the technical side of it. But I could definitely see him doing something like that. I think Kojima's probably going to back away from video games for a while and maybe go into film or do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's something he's talked about that for a while.
Like if Kojima and Del Toro make a movie of whatever Silent Hill was going to be, like that might be better, because have you played the latest Metal Gear? It's mostly a movie.
Oh, Ground Zeroes? It's mostly a demo. That's what it pretty much is.
Or 4 at least.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's long.
Yeah, that opening sequence.
First of all, that movie that Kojima makes is going to be like 11 and a half hours long.
Oh.
Like, you're going to have to just block off an entire day to go watch
Peter
it.
Jackson's like going to sit back and like, this movie's just way too long for me.
Well, and at the end of it,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And at the end of it, you're going to have to just pretend like you understood what happened in it.
Exactly. All right. Great input by everybody. Pretty much consensus, it sucks. But we'll see. Like, who knows? Like the most legit thing, like you guys nailed it. I think like you could possibly see him go branch out and then kickstart the next series. Now let's just speculate. Say he does that and he gets a company. What company do you want him to make this Silent Hills or just like the next Kojima project? Chris?
Oh, I don't know. I want to see him do what he actually wanted to do like this whole time. Like, I feel like he's been locked up in a little cellar for a long time now, being forced to keep, yo, you're the best shoemaker, make shoes forever. But I always wanted to be a dancer. Like, I figure, like, he's got something that he's been working on for like 10 years plus, and it may be something like, I just wanted to make a really scary horror game, but nobody would let me, and it may be something completely different. Who knows? But I think it's going to give him the opportunity to go that way, because it looks like, as soon as like Metal Gear 5 is done, he's not going to be with Konami anymore.
I thought you were gonna like quote Smashing Pumpkins for a second. It was like, despite all his rage, he's just a rat in a cage. Luke.
Well, this may be an obvious choice, but I don't know if it would ever happen. I'd love to see him go with someone like Naughty Dog, someone that has like a real close relationship with Sony, because that's kind of where Metal Gear got its start.
Yeah.
Well, it started on something that
Nintendo.
Didn't
Yeah,
it?
it started with Nintendo originally.
Yeah, but it gained its traction on Sony stuff, and so and Naughty Dog has like the development prowess to back his storytelling, and I just think that would be. But I would also just like to see him say, "Hey, I'm just going to branch out, do something on my own." Not sure I'd want to see it kick-started because I'm not real big on that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, independent would be good.
Johnny?
Pretty much. I mean, I'd love to see whatever he gets to use his, creative juices for. But as an Xbox fan, it'd be cool if they pick him up. I mean, they could definitely use help from him, and his name alone would help them out, their image and their portfolio.
Yeah. Murph?
So we all know that Kojima's really into realism. So I want him to make 24 the game. It takes 24 hours to play, no pausing. You have to set aside a 24-hour block and you just play. And then I don't know, maybe get some Kinect in there where it has to I don't know. It's the eating sequence. Now you can eat. And just something that Kojima can really just kind of stretch the boundaries of what playing a video game is.
Well played.
Yeah.
Mel?
I would think this is going to be kind of a cop-out answer, but I would love to see him do what he wants to do with Silent Hill, but present it as a virtual reality game. I haven't never seen someone do a virtual reality horror game, and whatever his concept is, if he did it in a virtual reality, how cool would that be if he could pull it off? I mean, it'd be tough, but what if he did something with virtual reality, whether it be something with the Steam VR or whatever, and he made this game to where you're so submersed and you don't know what's reality, what isn't. And I mean, you could be pretty creeped out by it. I think it would be interesting. I mean, like I said, I can't think of anything cool. Everybody has cooler answers than me, but I would love to see a VR version of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Hey Mel, have you heard about that Oculus horror game where in the game you're playing a horror game, and then in the first level game, like weird stuff starts to happen?
I've heard of that. I didn't see that.
Something like that, but directed by Kojima.
That would be interesting. I think that would be a serious mind trip. I mean, I think that would be worth paying for, but that's just me.
All right.
See, I would love to see an augmented reality game where you kind of, at the beginning of the game, you look around your house and it kind of like imposes stuff on your actual environment, making you terrified to walk around your house without your AR headset on.
Motherfucker. I was just thinking, like, because like they're kind of like the hot company right now from software. Just like have them do like a mix between Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and then just I don't know, like they'll work something with that, or if you want to get like really trippy, just add like a lot of violence, like have a mix with like Suda 51 and have like a mix between like Killer 7, No More Heroes, and then like this Metal Gear Solid. Also, we're gonna like incorporate Silent Hill, and it's just gonna be like this mesh, like this like mind explosion of gaming.
It'd be the hardest game ever.
It would be, and the most violent game ever. Like Mortal Kombat will look at it and go, "That's just a little disgusting. That's just nasty."
Distasteful.
Yes. Oh, that's distasteful. I don't know why I went like Jewish mother on that one. All right. Next topic. It's kind of old, but it's still slightly relevant. Nintendo's anti-YouTube policy has now struck a popular YouTuber. If you guys watched the Angry Joe show, he recently got flagged for his Mario Party video, and now he's vowed to his 2 million plus subscribers. I think he actually just reached 3 million the other day. He will no longer show or play any more Nintendo games. If you are unfamiliar, Nintendo has kind of been striking back on the whole Let's Play society, flagging any game that has, any Nintendo product, if it's Mario or whatnot, and they want part of the profits in it as well. So guys, is this going to hurt Nintendo even more, or are we just kind of making a big deal about nothing? Let's start with the Let's Player himself, Chris.
Yeah, my wheelhouse.
Yes.
Okay, so as somebody who's actually played some Nintendo games and not gotten flagged.
Ugh.
I don't like it.
Really?
No, I don't like it at all.
Really?
Now, here's the thing about it. I think they have every right to want to claim some profit from it. That's fair. I don't have any issue with that. I think the amount they want is way too much, and the thing that the way they're going about doing it is not attractive. It's not fun, and I don't like that either. And I feel like a lot of the big guys have already said it. They just don't play Nintendo games anymore. Don't bother with it. And I'm kind of like I don't think I'll be playing anymore in the future. It's not worth it.
Luke.
On my show, we do a segment called Review in a Word, and my review in a word for this policy is actually a hyphenated word, out of touch. Like, it's totally out of touch from Nintendo. Like, it's a complete misunderstanding of what the YouTube platform can do for their titles, you know? And Chris, you mentioned, like, it makes sense them wanting to claim some of the profits off of it. But the thing is they claim profits off of people who watch these Let's Plays and say, man, that game looks cool. I'm going to pick that up.
Yeah.
And essentially you're getting free advertising from these guys. Like the dude you mentioned, he's got 3 million subscribers. That's 3 million people putting eyes on your product. And, you know, Nintendo needs that right now with the floundering sales of the Wii U and all that. Like if guys are willing to play your games on these huge platforms and promote those games for free, you get your profit off the sale of those games. Like there are people who aren't interested in Smash Brothers who watch Smash Brothers and they're like, man, that game looks really awesome. I'm going to go out and buy that.
Yeah, especially like the one thing I want to say, like I agree with your point, Luke, because I watched another Let's Play Game Grumps, and they played Super Mario 3D World, and it's like I was kind of skeptical about getting a Wii, but after seeing it, it's like I kind of want a Wii U now, just so I can kind of play this. And the fact that they're now like being so anti-YouTube, it detracts from any like wanting of this. Like I don't get to like look at games like how does this really look? Because trailers can only do so much to me.
Right.
Johnny.
Yeah, I mean you basically all hit it. And God knows, you know, Nintendo needs as much promoting as possible. So they're basically shooting themselves in the foot by doing this because, like you guys said, a lot of people use, like, you know, YouTube and Twitch to check out games before they buy them, you know, because you can't just trust reviews or whatever. So, you know, a lot of people want to see what real gamers are, you know, what they have to say about it. And them, you know, just, it's not that they're making people, you know, remove the videos. I mean, they are in some cases, but you know, they have some harsh policies and it's not helping promote them.
Yeah. Murph.
So I'll take the devil's advocate part of this, and I'll say the last time that Nintendo let someone do something with their property, we got the Super Mario Brothers movie. Which is, quite frankly, one of the best movies that I've ever seen.
This is also very true.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I love it.
Yeah, like it's on par with Demolition Man.
There you go.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, favorite. Look, the franchise wars and Taco Bell.
Oh man,
Taco Bell.
But no, yeah, it's dumb. Whatever. Like, Nintendo can do what they want.
Yeah. Mel.
I after what Murph said, I don't know how to follow up with that, but he's totally right. I mean, there's a good way to use your properties, there's a bad way, obviously, right? But like everybody's been hitting it on the head. I mean, Nintendo's out of touch, man. They need all the publicity they can get, and they're kind of biting the hand that feeds by saying, "Hey, YouTubers, we know you're promoting our games and making people want to buy a Wii U, but we want to take all the money. We want to take the biggest, a big portion of your profit." And make it less desirable to play our games and Twitch stream them or put them on YouTube. It's just kind of silly. I mean, Nintendo doesn't understand what gamers want now. We want to see games before we buy them, before we put $60 on the game. We want to be able to see what the game is like. We want to see if it's fun. And really with YouTube Let's Plays and Twitch streaming, that's the way to try out a game without physically playing a demo. That's basically taking away the use of a demo of actually playing a game. You get a chance to see it before you buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo just doesn't understand this generation of gamers. They're still adopting policies that probably would have been more made sense in the 80s, like 30 years ago. And Nintendo, until they get it with online gaming and just what gamers want now, they're always going to be behind Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, Nintendo. Well, like with that, like they're almost like the Kanye West of like the gaming industry. They're like, hey, I'm gonna let you finish. First, you need to give us money. Also, Mario's the best gaming character of all time. Here's Mario Galaxy 10. Like Mel is completely right. Like Mel and Luke are very right because they are out of touch. It took them forever to get online gaming. And the one thing I did agree with Nintendo
And
is
high
that,
definition.
and high definition. Oh yeah, high definition.
Without voice chat.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And like I completely forgot about that. But like, what was the one GameCube game that had online play? Phantasy Star Online and Episode 3. But that was pretty much it. Like, and that was when Phantasy Star was fun. But the fact that like that was the only game when Xbox Live was thriving, when PlayStation Online was just kicking off. It's like, what was Nintendo doing? Hey, here's another Mario game. Here's Mario Sunshine. It's like, yay, but where's online? We kind of want more. I like what they did with the Wii. Like, I kind of, like, boosted them up. Like, hey, we want more couch co-op. We want more interactivity. But they're kind of just, like... They're almost, like, too smart for their own good. Because they'll think of, like, these brilliant things like the Wii. But then they'll also think of, like, these really dumb aspects of, like... This isn't going to be popular. Online gaming is horrible. And then it just thrives. Oh, Let's Plays are bad, but we want money. And it... Nintendo needs to just get their stuff in order.
I think generally Nintendo is way ahead of the curve. They've been ahead of the curve since like the NES games.
Yeah.
Like way back when they had a modem for the NES and like for the Famicom system that you could do taxes on. That's crazy. That's way beyond your time. But they're constantly in this, they think way ahead, and usually they're off the mark by way too far. And I think right now what we're seeing is what they want to do is way beyond what the world is ready for. And while I do agree with like, if I go out and I want to shoot a film with a Coke can, I got to mask it off because Coke will be like, cease and desist. I don't want you putting your product in there, unless you pay me, or I pay you because you're going to be really good and that's going to be advertising for me. So there's going to be some money changing hands one way or the other. So there's going to be some legal stuff involved. And I understand that. And I respect that because I don't know if everybody knows this at the moment, but when we were kids, who was the most recognizable character in the world was Mickey Mouse. Do you know who it is today?
Who?
Mario.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mario is the most recognizable character on the face of the earth. So I can understand why they'd want to protect that. But at the same time, they're behind what a lot of other people want. And, if you look at the recent history of like what YouTube has done for gaming, like a little old game called Minecraft, sold for billions.
Yeah.
You have to look back and think about, is this really what's the best for my company right now? And I just feel like a lot of the YouTubers are just going to say, it's not worth the hassle when I can go play this guy's indie game for free. He'll give it to me and I can play it and everybody else wants to watch it. So why would I bother with a Nintendo game that nobody wants to buy the system for?
Well, and that's the thing, like with YouTubing, and you probably understand this more than any of us since you do a ton of Let's Plays, but Let's Plays are way less about the game and much more about the personalities of the people playing the games. And so it's like, my channel will be successful because I am a part of my channel, not because your game's a part of my channel. And
the game is a big draw, though. Like, if I'm playing something that nobody's heard of or nobody wants to watch, it doesn't matter how good I am. It won't matter. If you put something up like Pokemon, everybody's going to watch it because they already know and love Pokemon. So I can understand that side of things, too.
Well, let me say this. Let me just chime in for a second. I've watched a lot of cool YouTubers out there, and I won't name any of the big ones, but anytime you can make a game like Goat Simulator something fun to watch, it's not about the game. It's about the presentation, the person presenting the game, and that's what Nintendo is missing. Your games are already great, but how cool will it be if you got somebody on YouTube doing a speed run of Mario, and breaking a world record, and it's out there for everybody to see how cool that you can actually do things in the game that maybe wasn't intended for in the first place.
Yeah.
Is there even a YouTube app on the Wii U?
Is there even an app on the Wii U? That's the beggar question.
I'm telling you, my Wii U is a Smash Brothers machine. That's all I do on that thing. So I have
That's all
no
it
idea.
knows.
But hey, here's the thing, like
Bayonetta,
man. Yeah.
How did they get
But,
with that exclusive? Like, how did they get that exclusive title? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's like that's like one of those random exclusives you can get was like Bayonetta 2. It's like you're getting a sequel to a game that went multi-platform. Like, how? Continue.
Money.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
it's sold
yeah.
too well.
All right, you were saying.
But one of the big marketing ploys that Nintendo has is their nostalgia. Like, it's a nostalgia factor. I grew up playing Mario, and they're still releasing Mario, so I'm going to play these Marios. But, like, there comes a point where that nostalgia becomes kind of old hat, and there's this cycle of, like, okay, we're going to do a Zelda game, a couple Mario games, we're going to have a Smash Brothers, and then we're moving on to the next one, like, next console. And Nintendo needs to be smarter about how they're entering into these new ways of marketing, and YouTube being a huge one of those things. And I think once they see, after shutting down some of these bigger YouTube channels, how it's affecting game sales, I think that's what's gonna speak volumes.
Yeah. So, anybody else? Anybody else? Go on.
One last thing. I don't think it's really going to hurt Nintendo. And if anything, it's just going to open the door for a lot of other large companies to say, hey, we can do this too now. And I think, if anything, it's really just going to hurt this particular community of people that really love their games more than anything else.
Yeah, it could be. Or you could see, like, I'll say Sony, because they were the ones that were kind of like the troll company. You could see them go, hey, you can play all of our stuff as well. You could show it on the internet. Also, we'll allow used games. It's an E3 thing back when they were like, oh, hey, Xbox One won't let you do used games. We'll do that. Here's how you can borrow a game. Here you go, friend. It was the ultimate troll. It was great. Anyway. So.
Well, that would be sad if that's setting a dangerous precedent that they're going to do that. If PlayStation and Xbox does that, that's going to be pretty sad. If everybody wants their hands out and wants money from the YouTube.
Yeah.
PlayStation's not going to do it because of what you just said. Like, they piggyback off of the public mistakes of other companies.
Yeah.
And PlayStation is not going to look at the way that this Nintendo thing has been received and be like, hey, that looks like a really good idea.
No, they're going to steer clear of it.
Yeah. All right. One final topic before we get into audible topic of the week. We're reaching the summer. We're halfway through. Right now, we've had big releases with Bloodborne and Bloodborne. What are games right now that you guys are excited for right now? We'll flip it around. We'll go to Mel.
Well, I mentioned it earlier. I kind of ruined it because I said Batman Arkham Knight. But
Yeah.
Batman Arkham Knight has the potential to be Game of the Year. Let me tell you why. This is the first Arkham game that will actually be on next gen. You can be able to drive the Batmobile. The world's going to be fully open world. I mean, I don't know what that means as far as scope, but they said it's going to be pretty huge, even compared to like Arkham City. And everything looks great. I mean, everything I've seen from the trailers, the graphics definitely look next gen. The voice acting and everything looks just unbelievable with it. It's going to be the first mature rated Batman game.
Yes.
So I kind of I get this imagination. This is going to be Grand Theft Auto with Batman, basically.
I
Hey,
don't think it's gonna go that far, but
Well, but I mean, it's gonna be a lot edgier than anything they've done before. But I think that's gonna be the next big game. Is gonna be Arkham Knight.
Before I go to Murph, what were you about to say, Luke?
Well, I have a question for Mel, since you seem like pretty in touch with that world. There's a part of, I think, the first trailer for Batman that shows like extended gameplay where he's driving the Batmobile. It knocks one of the thugs up in the air, and it appears like the Batmobile shoots him with some sort of lethal projectile. Did you see that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, let's just say this: Batman doesn't normally use guns.
Yeah.
But I did hear that the reason they got the mature rating is, first of all, they show a strip club in the game, so that's part of it. They actually show one of Penguin's hideouts that actually have like nude chicks. I don't know if they actually show new women, but they imply that it's a strip club. Also, and this is kind of spoilery too, but there's some interrogation with the Batmobile as far as Batman hanging thugs out of the Batmobile and possibly having their head close to the ground to where they could be, they could actually be rubbed off on the ground.
Holy crap!
So it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty violent even for Batman. So it's. I mean, I'm not surprised. I kind of vaguely remember what you said because that's probably from the first trailer.
Yeah.
it's more like Tim Burton Batman almost, because in that one the Batmobile had guns on it too. So interesting.
Murph.
I just want to say that like Batman had guns like way before anybody knew that he did. Back when he wore purple gloves, he used a pistol.
You're right.
Yeah, Detective Comics.
You're right, he did. And Thomas Wayne uses one right now, the alternate Batman world, whatever in the comics, he used a gun. So.
Murph.
So I've got one that's coming a little later, and then one in the far off future. So Mad Max is probably the next game that I'm kind of anticipating, other than Batman. We'll see how that goes, but I've seen the trailer. It looks pretty cool. But then again, it could be a bad GTA clone.
No, it's gonna be good, man.
I hope.
I don't know about all the hype behind it, but it's gonna be good. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's cool. The one that's coming out later is probably Final Fantasy 15, because I'm a sucker for Final Fantasy. Screw you, Final Fantasy 13.
I just posted a haiku today about that game. You're the hater I was speaking to.
We're not swearing on here, but I hate played that game. I was like, you are not going to beat me. I'm going to beat you. I'm hating every minute of this.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why I did it either. And then in the far off future, Mass Effect 4.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah. Well, next month we get Witcher 3. Really excited about that. I actually started playing Witcher 2 in anticipation of it. Not the same game. Mad Max, like you said, that trailer just came out, looked awesome. Halo 5, I think.
That could still be a game. I mean, they haven't canceled that game yet, at least.
No, it's not getting canceled.
Yeah.
But I mean, the hype around it right now, and all the promotion they're doing, it's definitely getting hype. But I think the number one game I'm waiting for, especially this year, the Division. It didn't get pushed back yet, so I took the game. I think that's like the reason I got my Xbox One, man. When I saw that first E3 trailer, I was sold. So yeah, well, that's about it.
Luke, I'd ask you, but I have a feeling I know what your answer is. But what's the game that you're looking forward to?
Mine is the Division as well. If I didn't make that abundantly clear. But I'm telling you, no, you're good. That just means we're best friends now, and we need to like buy bunk beds.
Yay! I made friends.
Oh man!
Now I bought into the Destiny hype so hard, and I was so looking forward to that game. And I mean, our first 5 podcasts we started because of Destiny, and our first 5 were just us spreading manure all over it because we were so disappointed by it. But I think what's that?
No, I thought it was the opposite. Like, we were in love with Destiny at first until, the content ran out. And then, I kind of
felt.
Well, see, the content ran out by 8 o'clock the morning after release because we had already completed all the story missions.
Good Lord.
We just rolled through it all. And but anyway, I bought into that hype. But everything that the Division is putting out right now in terms of how they're talking about it and the fact that we haven't seen a ton from it, but we've seen enough to be like, all right, I'm kind of getting excited about this. They seem to really be approaching this with an understanding of the mistakes that Destiny made with over-promising and under-delivering. And the Division looks like it's going to deliver on a lot of the aspects that I was really hoping for from Destiny, as far as loot and the openness of the world and the way that multiplayer was going to work, and how the whole entire game was kind of a connected experience, and you're not constantly having to wait through the loading screens of Orbit waiting to jump into something.
Well, it's funny, every time I hear people talk bad about Destiny, it makes me so happy, because I remember everybody started promoting. It's like, oh, it's gonna be game of the year. And I remember saying at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, I think this game is going to suck, because the fact that people are praising it and already giving it game of the year reviews. It's like, what was the one game that everybody else already gave game of the year reviews for? Duke Nukem Forever. And it's like, nope, I'm done. I'm just gonna let everybody. Yes, and like people who've watched the show, I've said this numerous times. It's like
criticism.
It's like so far, it's like people are like, yeah, it's fun up until a point. It's almost like the Old Republic, because like the Old Republic was fun up until a point where it's like, oh crap, there's nothing to do now. So,
Yeah, well, and the thing about Destiny for
because
me
I'm right, it's gonna be mad
was that there is so much good about that game. Like you could see the potential. We talked about it in a show a couple weeks ago. Just like the backstory of it that they had set up before telling the actual story was like, man, this is good. And then the mechanics of the game were so good, and then it was just, but the story fell
so
short.
Smooth.
It's the tightest 30-second loop. Like I love blowing the head off an alien with my gun, but then I hate everything else.
Yeah.
It's just the grind and the lack of content which did it for me. But
Yeah.
Chris.
Destiny 2.
Yeah. Chris, what are you looking forward to?
Because I live my land and I live in retro land and I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna go out and probably nobody even knows this is gonna happen. Star Ocean 5.
Okay.
They released this and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna play the waiting game and then start booking vacation because that's where I will be when that comes out.
Nice.
That last was 4 came out. I booked off a week. I was like, I'm not going to work. Screw this. Like, Star Ocean is big for me. So, like, that's the Final Fantasy that doesn't suck.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
No, he's right.
Yeah. I will agree with Mel that like I'm very amped for Arkham Knight. Like I liked Arkham Asylum. I loved Arkham City. I thought Origins was good. Like a lot of people were like, this game is blah. Like it's still good. Granted, it's not as good as the first two, but
a lot of glitches.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like there's a good amount of glitches to kind of turn me off. Uncharted 4, I'm very much excited for because I love the Uncharted series. 2 was just so good, and 3 was really good as well. I'm anticipating it. It hasn't been announced yet. Wolf Among Us Season 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
the first season was so good. I loved it. I'm trying to think. Like right now, my game that I was excited for just came out in Killing Floor 2. But other than that, it's like now it's like I have to wait because I'm not at this point. I remember I used to be pissed off when games got delayed. Now I'm not even mad. I'm like, good. That means you're working on glitches. Because I looked at after what's been recently with Assassin's Creed and Sonic Boom, it's like, take your time. I don't want crap.
Yeah, you say Sonic Boom?
Yeah, Sonic Boom was awful. Like that game was like an abomination. Like I could make like a horrible example, but I'm gonna try to be a good person, so I won't say anything else that's bad. Because like there's people that actually like worked hard. And it's like, oh man, I put in all this effort. It's like this game just sucks. So
sorry.
Yeah.
The problem is that Sega hasn't released a finished Sonic game in like 30 years. So
yeah.
And no, because like even go back to Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic 3 and Knuckles was supposed to be one game. They couldn't even make it into one. Like the last, like you go back 20 years. Like the last time they did, like Sonic 2 was the last Sonic game they actually finished.
Look, man, they did make it into one game. You could stack Sonic 3 on top of Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah. You just had to wait an extra 6 months and pay double for it. No worries.
And then put a Game Genie inside of that as well to get all the codes.
And I got my Sega channel plugged in the back.
Oh yeah, don't forget. Yeah. It's like this giant Tower of Babel, just like with the Sega games and Sonic.
On top of 32X, on top of a Sega CD.
That was the last time Exhibit was ever an executive at Sega. Yo, dog, I heard you like games. We're gonna put a game on top of your game, so you could game on top of another game.
And you have no idea which cartridge you have to blow into to get it to work.
Oh my god. Well played, sir.
Blow them all.
I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. All right. Now that we've talked about games we're excited for, what are you guys playing right now? And Johnny, what are you playing right now?
Well, I already said The Witcher 2.
Yeah.
Playing that. Neverwinter on the Xbox One. The MMO, the free MMO that just came out. What else? A little bit of Ori, Unity. I'm just trying to get my backlog down at this point.
Yeah.
Just playing a little bit of everything.
Yes. Murph.
So Bloodborne, because I'm a freak for anything that From puts out. in this the Souls series. Though
Or a sadist.
Yeah.
no,
Sorry.
yeah, but I'm good at it, so it's all right.
Good at being a sadist. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, I died. Now call me daddy.
Ooh.
The leather's
but-
wet. It's good.
I'm actually this is on my little indie scene thing. I just finished Digital: A Love Story, which is this kind of all right. Stay with me.
Okay.
It's sort of set in the 70s or 80s. It's kind of in this old hacking BBS style thing with like dial-up modems. Yes, kids, we used to have to dial up, and it's a very, I don't want to spoil anything by giving away what the twist is, but it's a very weird love story. And I played that in preparation for playing, what is it? Analog, A Hate Story. So that's the next one in there. And it's also a kind of a visual novel involving hacking and computers and that sort of thing.
Luke.
I am just about done with Shovel Knight. It's awesome.
I hear it's really good.
I'm working through Borderlands: The Handsome Collection, playing the crap out of MLB The Show. Every now and then, I'm like, I kind of want to pick up a little Siphon Filter action on my Vita, so I'm going back and playing through Siphon Filter. And oh gosh, there was, and I'm picking up State of Decay tomorrow, Year One Survival. So
Okay.
looking forward to that.
Mel.
Well, just like him, I've been actually playing Borderlands pre-sequel on PlayStation 4, which I'm not enjoying as much as the first two Borderlands, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Also been playing Ori and the Blind Forest on Xbox One, which to this point is my favorite game of 2015 so far. I think it's
Wow.
Oh, wow.
for an indie
Yeah,
game.
it was
It's
awesome.
like one of the most beautiful platformers you guys will ever play. If anybody has an Xbox One on here besides me and John,
Or,
highly recommend
Steam.
it.
PC.
Yeah, it is on Steam.
Played 'em.
Okay.
And I'm also playing on mobile on my iPhone. I've been playing Halo Spartan Strike, which is pretty cool for a mobile game.
All right.
Wait, what's this one? I have not heard of this one.
Which one?
The Halo? Sorry.
Oh, it's a sequel to Spartan Assault, which was the original Halo mobile game, which they released on Xbox One and on Windows phones. Well, Microsoft got smart and they released it to all platforms. It's on Android, iOS, and Windows phones. But it's a sequel to it's a sequel to the first Halo top-down shooter. It's like top-down perspective.
The twin stick.
Twin stick shooter, but it's actually really, really well done, and it's fun, and it's there's a little bit of challenge to it, and I enjoy it as a Halo fan. I mean,
Yeah. All right.
Ooh.
I think it's cool.
Interesting. Chris. Chris? No, we lost him. All right, I'll stall for time right now.
Well, what have you been playing, Chase?
What? Thank you for
There you go.
asking. Right now, I've been playing a lot of. I just got Mega Man X4 and X5 for $1, so it's like, all right, because I love I'm a big sucker for Mega Man X. Like, I love that entire series. So I'm playing X4 right now. I'm about to beat it, but that final boss is like, he is hard as heck. Like, good lord. So I'm like kind of raging on that.
There's always like a spike at every Mega Man game for that last boss. So
Yeah,
weird.
like the one thing I'm trying to do, like, because like once you get one item, it gets incredibly easy. So I tried to beat all the bosses with X-Buster, and so with the final form of Sigma, like it's not impossible, but it's like kind of close to it because the hitbox is just so small. And even when you do use the items that like make him weak, it still like takes forever, and it's a very hard boss battle. Yay, Chris is back.
I made it.
Hey, I'm playing
Hey.
Mega Man X4, which is kind of retro, so you might like that. I'm also playing a lot of. I played Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which I was playing as a Let's Play, but stuff happened, kind of had to can it, but it's still just like a fun game. It's very dark and twisted. Warframe, ever since I did the Let's Play on it, like, I gotten more and more back into it, and it's actually a lot of fun, and it's very smooth. and also free. Can't really beat that.
No.
I think this is like the first month like I haven't played Payday like in a
I was gonna say
like
that.
I was so big into Payday, especially like their spring break event. I was like, get Payday, it's awesome. Get all this DLC, give it your money, and it like I just all of a sudden was just like, I want to play something else, and it kind of sucks until like a new mission comes out. Then be like, heck yeah, and I'm gonna get back into Payday. But other
Hey, it's coming to console too, man. So you'll be able to jump back into the
Is
game.
it?
Oh
Is it
yeah,
really?
yeah.
It's coming
The
out?
Crime Wave edition. It's gonna be for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like, oh, I rode
Yeah.
that Payday train so hard, and of course, when the
thinking
new
that.
mission comes out, I'm gonna be hopping back on it and be gone for long periods of time. But, oh, and how can I forget? Killing Floor 2. Like, it just released on early access. I played the first one long time ago. Loved it. This game is so violent, and it is amazing.
like-
yes, like
Isn't it like horde mode?
what,
Isn't it like
yeah,
a horde
it's
mode
essentially just a
shooter?
horde mode shooter. You just survive wave after wave. All the zombies look great. The music's fantastic. The original game only had like 5 points of explosion per body, like per zombie or Zed. Like there's 20 points, and the blood doesn't go away. And it's like, okay, it's that kind of realism I kind of enjoy, where I get to like look down and just see like, yeah, realism. Like this orgy of violence, like on the floor, and it just doesn't go away, and it's terrifying, and I love it, and it's $30, and I kind of get hard on early access because I kind of hate it, but I look at this one like for an early access game, it's really well done. Yeah, there's only 3 levels, and there's like not as many perks right now, but it's the fact that it's and the load times are a little bit long, but the execution of it is really well done, and so like $30, which compared to a game that's like $60 and it's glitchy as all crap. Yeah,
Right.
get Killing Floor 2. I love it. So Chris, what is the game I've been trying to get out of you? What's the game that you're playing right now?
What am I playing right
Yes.
now? I edit videos. I really have I have no time outside of like when we're playing. When we're playing, like I play like games like 3 days a week, like for recording purposes, and I generally don't get around to too much. I do play like some fighters with some buddies on that, like Persona 4 Arena, and what else we play? Like there was another one that was really weird. We were playing. It was like an import. So we get around to like playing that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'm playing like Cards Against Humanity because I got board games and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And every so often I'll play like Minecraft on PS3 because I always got to put some blocks down.
Now I want to ask you this because you went out of your way on this one. You would adjust on against your channel. Normally you play a lot of retro games.
Yeah.
And you played Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and now they just announced the 4th one. Will you play it?
Yeah, damn right.
All right.
Because it'll bring in viewers.
Yeah.
I mean, like
it's terrifying.
Okay. I say that because like it will bring in people, but like it was genuinely fun. Like when when I found out it was coming out, I was like, Andy, we gotta go now, and like I hit the buy now button, steal my money on the computer, and then I drove all the way to his place, and I brought him back, and we were like, we need energy drinks, and we just drank, and like we're just bam, we're in. And like 3 hours later we had a video up, and it was like that was super exciting, and I kind of look forward to doing that again.
Yeah.
Like I like Five Nights at Freddy's, and like I don't want to play it. I really don't like jump scares, but it's got like this weird Dark Souls level of like environmental storytelling, which I'm a really big fan of.
Yeah.
So
It made me
I'm
afraid to
excited
go
for
to
that.
Chuck E. Cheese. Like that's what it made me afraid of now. It's like I can't go in there. I mean, besides the fact that I'm over 18, it's just the fact
you got
that I
that
don't even
stash.
want to go in the machine near.
They'll let you into Chuck E. Cheese.
I heard that like if you're by
Yeah, they have
yourself,
beer.
you can't.
They serve beer.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Why haven't we partied at Chuck E.
You go in
Cheese?
there. You go in there by yourself. Just have a beer.
Party at Chuck's place.
Podcast at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play Guitar Hero Live here.
Fight.
Oh my
No,
god.
I'm playing Rock Band.
Oh man, I'm excited for those. All right. Final audible topic. We discussed it in pre-production. I was talking with my girlfriend today, and she was reading a manga, and it was called, I'm gonna butcher this, Latte No Mocha, which the way I read it via text was Latte No Mocha. And she's like, that's definitely not it. So guys, I want you to get creative. I'm gonna put you on the spot. I want you to give me a plot for Latte No Mocha. Chris.
All right. Okay. So, first off, we already discussed that Latte No Mocha is now a magical guy anime. All right. So we've got
Okay.
Latte and Mocha, and they like transform, and I guess they gotta fight giant cupcake monsters because that's the thing. Because the frosting gets a little bit all over their boy parts.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
It's like shaving cream to make them nice and slick and smooth for the ladies. And, so they gotta fight giant cupcake guy monsters with, like,
no.
really human faces, so they're all ultra creepy.
So, Chris, now everything these days has to be grim and gritty. So, what's the twist on this magical boy genre?
They're actually
Where-
macchiatos.
Okay, all right. It's okay. Yeah, they're just stained milk. Latte and Mocha. You'd think by their names that Mocha would be the brown guy. No, it's the other way around.
Okay, that's the dark twist.
That's the
Yo,
dark
yeah,
twist.
it's literally the dark
Okay.
twist.
Wow.
Okay.
It's like Human
Walk
Giant
into
had
that.
a skit like that where it's like, oh, we're agents. I'm Phil and he's Amir, and Amir would be the white guy, and Aziz Ansari would be Phil, and Amir is like this white guy. All right, Luke. Latte No Mocha.
Gosh. All right, see, I'm terrible at this because I don't do anything with mangas or anime or anything.
Neither
like
do
that.
I, so don't worry.
So, all right. It's obviously it's set in a coffee shop, and there are two people who run this coffee shop, and they have no idea how to make anything related to coffee, and so the whole game is based. Are we coming up with a game idea? I'm coming up
Sure,
with a game.
You can
That's
make
what
it a
I'm doing.
game.
Right,
It's
so-
open. This is an
Franchise.
open world question. You can make it whatever you want.
So the whole premise of the game is you get a drink ordered in, and you have to try to make up what you think that drink is supposed to be. But the twist is that when they ask for no mocha, you always put mocha in it just because you hate your customers.
It's like Cooking Mama, where you have a Wiimote and you like have to like put the things in, and you're like twisting
Yes.
it. And it's like, God damn it, work! Just put the cream in. Put the cream in.
Yeah, put the cream in.
Yeah.
That's right.
That goes
And-
great with
and-
your story too, with the two
Well, and
boys.
everybody's like, "Can you put soy milk in that?" And you're like, "Sure," and it's just whole milk.
This is.
There's a
oh my
part
God,
where he's
my
like, they
ass
give you a
feels
name,
so-
you have to like butcher the name as well. Like, oh, it's Steven with a PH, and you just put PH and then Teven.
I kind of want to make this game actually.
Murph, write all this down.
Well, and also you have a bunch of people coming in who are asking for the non-dairy with whipped cream on the top, and you're just rolling your eyes at them. You're like, "Look, soy milk isn't any healthier than regular milk."
Yeah, I'd play this game if it was like made like I Am Bread or I Am Toast or whatever, where it's like you can't really control it, but you have to do it anyways, and it's just crazy, like it's infuriating.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'm on board for that.
What's the dark
Awesome,
twist
sweet.
for?
Click on the soy milk, and then the hand just reaches out, grabs the whole milk.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the dark twist would be like, oh, I want the non-fat milk. Oh, it's a code, and like they go into like the back closet and like move this shelf of like coffee seeds, and it's actually like this dark cult or something.
Yeah, it goes all postal too on you, and like in the back of the convenience store, there's all kinds of crazy weird shit going on.
Yes, Johnny, Latte No
I don't
Mocha.
know, man. All I know, it sounds like something Sailor Moon, like you do like a Sailor Moon kind of story. You got these like hot little chicks or whatever, Latte and Mocha, and I don't know what they do.
Fighting evil with a latte, winning love with a mocha.
Yeah, what was the? You gotta have the handsome
Fighting
guy
all
with
the
mask.
macchiato. She is the one Latte No Mocha. There you go. Well done,
Yeah.
Johnny. And we got a theme song ready for you. Copyright 2010.
There we go.
We did this in the past. Murph.
Okay, so I think we got it wrong the first time, Chris. It's not a magical boy anime. It's a boy and his mecha anime, except his mecha is a giant coffee bean. And it's like a weird food fight twist where a boy has gone on his epic quest. His father has been killed by some mysterious coffee bean, and then so he has to go through the kingdom in his giant coffee bean, fighting other so he's got the Arabica bean, and then so like he has to fight other like giant robot monsters and their boys. Like so there's like the suet
Oh
coffee.
yeah, sweet. Yeah, totally.
It's pooped out of a ferret, and then that's how it magically transforms.
Don't bring ferrets into this. I love ferrets. Don't.
No, the
Taint it?
suet coffee. Yeah.
Tainted?
Have you not heard the coffee that comes out of the ferret?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
see?
super expensive. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
What?
massive
This
for a-
exists?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so then there's like the instant coffee robot that's really crappy, but there's a lot of them.
I'll take a ferret crappiato.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
Can we mix both of them together where like it's still Magical Boy, but he transforms with the mech? Like the mech
okay.
becomes like the mech suit that's just like on him, but he can
Okay,
still
I
have
like
like the midriff like ab area.
Oh my.
So
So
like
the little
sexy
boy
coffee
is
robot.
like inside of this
Yeah,
giant
sexy
robot.
coffee robot. Yes, the
Oh,
little boy is
yeah.
inside the sexy coffee
There,
robot.
there seems to be a very big like NAMBLA association with this thing.
I think that's just anime.
Yeah.
Are you associating with like the
This is
National
something-
Association of Marlon Brando lookalikes? Is that the NAMBLA you're talking about? South Park reference.
Yeah, that's what NAMBLA
Yes.
is a reference to.
All right, Mel. Latte No Mocha.
Well, this is completely. Yeah, I was completely caught off guard with this because I didn't know we were doing trick questions.
Yeah.
I kind of picture like in the middle of Attack on Titans, there being like these hidden coffee shops, and they're actually called Latte No Mocha because you never have time to get an actual mocha because you're too busy with giants killing you the whole time. So, but the cool thing is you level up. If you can get to these hidden coffee stations throughout the city, you can level up by getting the latte and not the mocha. Everybody knows the mocha is poison. You can't drink it. So you have to drink the latte to stay alive. And you can level up.
Or like the coffee Nazi from Seinfeld. Or no, the short order coffee guy from Saturday Night Live. Latte, no mocha. Can I get a mocha? No, latte, no mocha.
This is an interesting anecdote. There's a coffee shop at the Pentagon that is like in the center of the Pentagon that is called the Ground Zero Coffee Shop. And the reason it's called that is because there was a time, this is for real, where during the Cold War, nuclear warheads were pointed at this coffee shop because, middle of the day there would be all these people that would go in, like high-ranking officials. So Russia thought that it was an entrance to an underground bunker, and it was really just this
Holy
little coffee
crap.
shop.
Wow.
And now you know.
And so that's the setting of this game. You play at the Pentagon, and you have to upgrade your national spying by going down there.
The idea I originally had for Latte No Mocha were these two white girls go into a Starbucks and they fight for the last copy of a Norah Jones CD, and they fight to see who can literally not even the most. And it's like, it's all blondes and feel like, oh my gosh, like, I can't even. And it's like broken wrist fights like throughout the entire time.
Shut up.
Wow.
You're trying to upgrade your UGG boots.
Oh my god.
I don't
Like the
believe
even
it.
meter is
Who
so
uses-
strong.
Who buys CDs?
I know.
Yeah.
It's like you could just torrent it and then it's like,
It's like the iTunes card. Okay, I believe that.
yes. But I mean,
they're doing the juicy lip challenge.
oh
the-
that, oh my gosh.
Who can make the better duck face?
It'll just be like this giant like JRPG style where they have like attack and it's just the wrist, or like special duck face pose, sorority who has like the bigger cleavage, and like you're, instead of like the EX meter, it's like the even meter, and like once it's full, like they literally can't even, and they're like this super awesome like powerful attack where it's like, I'm gonna summon my boyfriend, he lifts, and you see like this giant jack guy like, bro, do you even lift? And then just goes, oh, boom. She uses white girl wasted. It's super effective.
All right, internet, this is a thing. Go make it
Yes,
for us.
alright. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? What should the plot be for Latte No Mocha? Should it be an open world game? Should it be a manga? You decide. The choice is there for you. Guys, thank you very much for being a part of it. Okay, again, Chris and Andy. Andy's not here. Get well now, Andy. You can follow him on Twitter at ChrisAndyPlay, youtube.com/ChrisAndAndyPlay. Also their Facebook page. For Luke, oh my gosh, I have all these to do. At Player3 Podcast, player3podcast.com, the number 3, also not fully spelled out, youtube.com/Player3Podcast. Johnny, Gamer Nation Radio at GNR_Johnnyboy, Facebook.com/Gamer Nation Radio fan page. You can find them on Shout Engine. Murph, you can see him on our show at ThatGameShow or Dork Night Podcast or DorkNightShow.com. Follow him.
DorkNight.com.
DorkNight.com, sure.
At Dork Night Podcast.
All right, at Dork Night Podcast. You can also follow him on Twitter at Murph from Podcast. Mel, you can find him on Twitter at Melwheezy, geeklypodcast.com. Yeah, I know that Twitter. Isn't it weird that I know that, Murph? Facebook.com/Melwheezy Geek Chic. You can follow us on Twitter at @that_game_show. You can also follow me on Twitter at Chase Bunker. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/thatnewshowshow. Also subscribe to our YouTube page and follow all the other stuff as well. I also did a bunch of Let's Plays on the YouTube channel, That New Show. I think I covered everything. Did I forget anything, guys?
Yeah, you forgot one thing.
What's that?
These nuts?
And that's it.
Seriously,
That's the
man.
show.
Huzzah!
Oh my gosh, I hate you so much right now. It's unreal. All right. For Chris Barbarick, Luke Croft, Johnny Marshall, Murph Murphy, and Melvin Hampton, I am Chase Bunker saying have a good rest of your week, and we will talk to you guys next time. Also, check out all their stuff. Bye.
Bye.
Let's go ice some boys.